Another week of this guy. All right, let's see if y'all can hear me and see me, and we'll get started. All right, so I'm gonna poke my head around the camera, and Finley says 5x5. Krista, Amish, undercover. Let's see, Lorna, Jacob. Let's see if we got a few more. There's a bunch more. Okay, so you guys can all see me. All right, so happy Saturday. If y'all missed that part, that's pretty much the truth. So, yeah, last 24 hours been fun with the whole debacle that I talked about this morning, and then Trump's response this afternoon. But I couldn't do it, guys. I had to walk away today. I could not pay attention to what the hell was going on. Hence, there was no lunch video or anything like that. I said, screw it. I'm getting out in the yard. I went out and put up more security cameras. I put up more security lights. And why the hell is that thing buffering? Okay, there it is. All right. So I could not even stand to listen to people talk about this. I just needed to walk away, if you know what I mean. So yeah, you guys got my feelings pretty much on this morning's video, so I wanted to give you that one. In case you did miss this morning's video, I will show you this just in case. You guys ask me for stuff all the time, so I thought I'd do something different rather than the t-shirts and hats or whatever. So a little unit patch, okay, like Army would wear on their left shoulder, you know, whatever unit you belong to, but one for us, okay? So I bought 200 of those. If you guys want them, what I said to everybody this morning, send me a self-addressed stamped envelope and $5 per patch you want. Basically about what they cost. And I will send them out to you. If I get more than 200 orders, I will put another order in with the embroidery shop and have them make some more. Take a couple of weeks to get them, but I will get those out as soon as we get them. So, but don't send me a check. I can't cash them, guys. So if you want to send something, throw a fan in there and we're good. Okay, that's it. But I will mail a whole bunch of these out to you guys if you want them. I thought they were something different, something unique to identify all of us in case anything goes crazy. So just something for a little bit of fun. That is about it. Like I said, I didn't pay attention to anything in the world today. So there we go. All right. Let's start right off. We'll get this going early and get right into the fun of tonight. If you guys saw the video the other day, we are giving away a EcoFlow Wave 2, which is a combination heater and cooler that is solar powered, and it does come with the extra battery for it. So this is about a $2,000 prize. So yeah, like I said, we're about 100 grand here, what we give it away. So fun stuff. I just want to recognize this real quick before I miss it later. Charles, thank you for the super chat. Said thanks for the cooler, all works good. I had to fix the wheels, but rolls fine now. Cool. Okay, good deal. All right, that's good to hear that you got it, and good to hear that it works, and whatever minor deal was. But yeah, sometimes they come loose or something. Just tighten them up and straighten out whatever needs to be. So all right, so we are going to, I see somebody says Juckfo Biden. Yeah, how about this one, guys? You know the gas pump, when you go in there and it says, 87, 89, 93, you push the yellow button. You put these on top of them. Let's see if the video gets shut down real quick. Yeah, those are stickers made specifically for the buttons on gas pumps. Prep Rebel, thank you for the super chat. And I'm jealous. You said you got 4.5 inches of rain. We're supposed to hopefully get a 1/2 inch tomorrow. So I'm very jealous of your 4.5 inches. I would love to get that because my yard feels like concrete under your feet. Because, like a lot of you said pre-show here, it hasn't rained in 30 days or 40 days, whatever it is. It's like, I think we'd all be happy to see Noah out there building an ark right now. All right, let's get into this. With the contest, I will explain this to everybody real quick. As per normal, I will do the random comment picker here in just a minute. In order for something to be a valid entry, why the hell is it buffering again? We don't need buffering. All right, I hope it's not buffering for you guys, but my computer screen just froze. So let me see if I can refresh it and see if that helps. All right, seem to come back. Okay. All right, thanks, Lucky Dame. A few of you guys. All right, good. Lost track of where I was. So, and it's still doing it. All right, at least the chat window's still working. Not buffering here. Okay. All right, I want to make sure my computer's working because otherwise I can't see that somebody says they're here. So bear with me. No, the chat window's not showing up. All right. Hang tight, guys. I'm going to try to start this again because I need to have my computer going so I can make sure somebody's here. Always got to have problems with YouTube. It was like this morning, it took over an hour to upload videos because they can't get their shit straight. Let's see if this works. Okay, there's the screen. Where's the chat? Unbelievable. There it comes. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Just like I said, I need to be able to see it here so I can make sure somebody's here. All right, so take 3. I will pull a name, random comment picker. In order for it to be a valid entry, if you guys remember, you have to be in the lower 48 for this one. You have to mention the name of the state you live in, and you have to mention what vegetable you're harvesting. You basically have to mention a vegetable. I don't care if it's a fruit. That's fine, whatever it is. Okay, both those things have to be in here. When I call the name, whoever's name I draw will have 3 minutes to reply in the comments that they are here. Remember, this is a must be present to win. And if you remember Tuesday night's giveaway, we had to call 3 names because the first 2 people weren't here. So don't run away just because I call the first name. Doesn't mean they're here. What I beg of you, and the moderators are going to delete any comments that are made otherwise. When I flip this over to the random comment picker, do not comment unless you are the winner of the prize. Okay, your comment will get deleted, and if you do it a second time, they're going to put you in a 300-second timeout. Guess what that means? That means if your name's drawn and you only have 3 minutes, which is 180 seconds, you can't win. So please do not comment. It makes life a lot easier for me and the mods to see that the winner is actually here. Fair warning, okay? I'm going to flip this over now. Cease all comments. All right, so let me get it on the computer. Flip over the camera. And we will blow this up so you guys can see it. There we go. All right, no comments, guys. I have the video from the other day. There is the link right there. We are going to hit fetch. Okay. We do not include replies. You guys know that. It is primary comment only. We do not allow duplicates. That is, everybody gets 1 entry. And here we go. And provided they're here, winner is, oh, never mind. We don't know. We got to figure out how many comments we got first. Okay, let's do that part. Should be over 2,000. Here we go. 2,097 people. Okay. Now, and the hopeful winner is doink. CC Trust in Him. Tennessee Cherry Tomatoes. Thank you, Pinball. That is a valid entry. So CC Trust in Him. Are you in the house? You have until 9/12 to say you are here. CC Trust in Him. I am here. There we go. That was quick. What do you know? We don't have to go through 20 after. All right. So let me flip this over so I can see what's going on. Reorganize myself just a hair here. All right. So CC Trust in Him. What I need you to do is this weekend. Send me, email me. My email's below in the description. Your name, your physical mailing address, and your phone number. Can't do a post office box. You get those to me. I will get that over to Elliot on Monday morning. And they usually ship stuff out Wednesday or Thursday via FedEx. So chances are Friday or Thursday. I tell you, my brain is jello. Friday or Saturday, you will have a brand new solar powered air conditioner / cooler to add to your preps. So congratulations. All right. God. Okay, so let's get into the normal fun that we do, that is a live stream. We're going to do Q&A. For all those of you guys that are new, I will go through the rules. For all those of you who've been around here for a while, go get a beer, because you know them by now. Any questions you have, we can talk about whatever you guys want, guys. We've talked about everything: economics, politics, bullets, band-aids, beans, whatever would be. Okay, I don't care. Rock bands, TV shows, favorite movies, whatever. I don't care. Whatever subject is. As long, please nobody ask me, okay, who's your favorite porn star? Okay, that doesn't fly. But if you got a question for me, please put it in all caps in the comments, okay? Because there's about 2,000 of you here. There's one of me, okay? And I'm the only way I can scroll through these comments real quick is if I'm looking for all the caps, all right? Please keep all the comments PG-13, as I say many times. Your teenager has heard whatever language might slip out of my mouth. Your 6-year-old probably doesn't need to be here, okay? But keep it respectable, keep it friendly. Disagreement is totally fine, but do not start a comment off, you're an effing idiot, this is the deal. You do that, you're tossed, okay? My moderators have been around here for a couple of years. They are some of the best on YouTube, no doubt. They are extremely good at what they do, and they are here every time. So you guys should all know them all. So please keep it clean, keep it fun. Let's have an hour here of fellowship, camaraderie, and just a little bit of fun. All right. So let's get to the top, and I will answer the questions. Guys, again, I will tell everybody, please make sure to follow along in the comment section too. I don't have all the answers, okay? Somebody else may have a better answer than I do, or because sometimes you ask me how to milk goats, I'm not going to be able to tell you, okay? But somebody in here is going to know. So, pay attention to the comments because I can't get to all of them most of the time. And, usually I'm 15, 20 minutes behind. So keep an eye on the comments. Somebody may answer your question for you. There's a lot of intelligence in this family, and take advantage of all of it. Okay. All the congratulations. Let's see. Looking. Lots of congratulations in there. There you go. That's what I love about you guys. You are all very happy for each other to get something. Sunset Pinball, what is the nickname you gave Mrs. P feeding all the animals? I call her Snow White, because she's out there with, like I said, feeding chipmunks, feeding squirrels, feeding crows. Daffy's chasing the squirrels away, and Mrs. P's trying to bring them in. So, who knows? But yes, so I call her Snow White when she's out doing that. Fat Daddy's outdoor cooking. How do you preserve my pepperoncini? I pickle mine. Okay, I love pickled pepperoncini. That is the best way to do it for me. Anybody eats Papa John's pizza, if you ever get one of those, the pizza's pretty good. The pepperoncini are the best part of it. The pepperoncini and the garlic sauce are the best thing in there. The pizza is just something that comes with it. So, but yeah, I pickle them all the time. I love pickled peppers, pickled jalapenos, pickled pepperoncini, pickled banana peppers. Yeah, we pickle a lot of peppers around here. Laura's story. If you grow several kinds of peppers hot and not close together, will they all get... Okay, we're a little gobbledygook in how you answer this. If I grow several kinds of peppers hot and not close together, will they all get hotter? No, okay. I'm going to guess at what your question is because it makes no sense. Uh, your peppers this year are not going to be anything true to what the seed you planted was. Okay. If when you have cross pollination of them, like if you plant habaneros right next to bell peppers, they're going to cross pollinate. This year, your bell peppers will all be fine, your habaneros will all be fine. Next year, you're going to get some mutant pepper that is going to be a cross between a hot pepper and a habanero if you save the seeds from either one of those because they cross pollinate. But this year, you're not going to have any change into what you thought the seeds were. Robert Bates, FedEx shipping stinks. You don't have to tell me. I mean, they remember, FedEx when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight, or Amazon Prime, 1 to 2 day shipping is now a week. Okay. Yeah. I mean, forget it with the shipping companies, when it absolutely must get there eventually is about it, and still FedEx screws up more than they get it right. Not my control. That's being shipped straight from Elliott and Wellbots. I don't have any control over that. Susan Lathrop, potatoes, are they okay to plant if they're slightly moldy around the eyes? No, I would not plant moldy potatoes. They're just going to rot in the ground. Chances are, if they've already started to rot, they're going to keep rotting. So I would not plant moldy potatoes. Stephanie Klein, can you drink humidifier water if it's put through a Berkey filter? Yes. I did a video about a year ago where I ran my dehumidifier. I showed you guys exactly what was going on. I ran it through a zero water and I drank it right here in front of you. And this was a year ago. And guess what, guys? I'm still alive. Okay. I wouldn't do it for everyday water, but in an emergency, yeah, I would. And the other thing is you can always use that water for other purposes, washing dishes, washing your hands, watering your garden, whatever it would be. Okay. But in an SHTF situation, water is going to be one of the most precious commodities you have. If you have the availability to get it any way, you are going to try. And even if you only get a couple of pints of water, that could be the difference between life and death. Yes. West Michigan Preparedness. Do I know if the solar-powered ground mole stakes work well? Never even heard of them. So no, I do not. Hopefully somebody else in here's got an answer to that. I don't have mole problems. So I've never even heard of ground mole stakes. So hopefully somebody else is up in Michigan where you got that problem. They can help you. Barbara Kramer, do I have an old iron that you would heat on a wood burning stove? No, because I don't even have a wood burning stove. So, but yes, I know what you're talking about. It's just a little handle, like a flat piece of metal. It was about 1/2 inch, 3/4 thick. It looked like the iron from Monopoly, the old piece. My only thing is this, in an SHTF event, I'm not going to be overly concerned about pressing clothes. So, oh, gee, I've got to go to church on Sunday. Hell, if I'm dressed, be happy. Okay. If there's not, mud and blood all over me, I haven't worked hard enough that week. Joni, Pinball, can you explain to me how an EMP shield can help your house if the grid is down? And again, I'm going to make the caveat on this. All the stuff for EMPs is all, I don't want to say hypothetical, but it's never been proven in the real world because there's never been an EMP. But the way it's supposed to work is basically cutting off any surge that goes through all the electrical wiring in your house. So I'm not an electrician or anything like that. Don't never pretend to be. Okay. But it's supposed to stop any sort of electrical current in its tracks. That's the deal. So, your box gets fried and it hits that EMP shield and it doesn't go anywhere else. So that's the deal. Rock 600-601. Anyone having trouble getting the Echo Power Lion Cooler Bluetooth app to work? I don't even use it, so I can't. I mean, like I said, mine's a year old. You're gonna have to call the manufacturer on that one. I don't know. Beautiful day. Any suggestions for preserving yellow squash? I've canned squash. I know people say, gee, it makes it mushy. Okay, but what are you going to use it for? I mean, a lot of people will take squash and make it mushy uh, in the first place. But you can make something like zucchini bread or anything like out of there. I make loaves of zucchini bread and just throw them in the freezer. I mean, there's a way to preserve it there. What else? I did a video. If you go in my Cooking with Mrs. Pinball video, I did a video on making a calaverita soup out of it with with squash. That was absolutely delicious. And we canned that. And I mean, I've still got some of that because we had so many zucchini. Uh, guys, I'll say this when you talk about preservation. Well, the Ball Blue Book is a fabulous resource. The FDA will come up and say, don't can this or don't can that. I don't care. Okay. Go watch YouTube videos. Do a video for canning yellow squash and see what recipes people have. I mean, y'all asked me last year when I canned stuffed green peppers. You can't can rice. Stop me. We did. It wasn't any problem, and the food was good, and it didn't rot, and nobody got sick, and we ate it for 6 months. So, they're going to err on the side of caution. You got to put food away, okay? And again, it comes to the old saying: you open the thing up and it stinks, throw it out, okay? We've thrown out jars of food. It's like, this does not smell right. I don't care. Throw it out, okay? If you got any questions, pitch it. You're going to have cans that don't seal, cans that spoil something, throw it out. Mike, how are the fish doing? Mrs. P was out feeding them this afternoon, and she said they look like they're getting bigger. So I don't know. I mean, they're probably this big now, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, something like that. So it's not like I'm going to be catching any fish this year. Maybe I will get a little in the fall, but who knows? I mean, they're not going to be anything worth cutting up. We had an interesting one. I don't know what kind of bird it is. You guys have seen the pond. There was a bird today that was flying inside below the rim of the pond, flying in circles just around the pond. It wasn't like a big bird or something like this. This thing looked like it was blue. It kind of looked like a blue jay, color wise. But I'm going, all right, blue jays and bluebirds don't hunt fish. So I don't know what it was, but it was just circling. It was really cool to watch. Pennsylvania Rambler, how soon do I think shit hits the fan is coming? I called the repair shop this week, and they're still waiting on a part for my crystal ball. So when that comes in, I'll be able to answer that question. Jeannie McAdams, any further observations on the copper coils in my garden? Okay, so Mrs. P and I went out this evening about 2 hours ago before the live stream started, and we looked, and I was watching where they were. What I'm noticing is the plants don't seem to be getting any bigger than the other ones. Maybe, and I've mentioned this before, but I seem to be getting fruit on the ones near the coils and flowers on the tomatoes earlier than I am on the other ones. And again, like I said, I don't care how big the plant gets. I care how much produce it produces. Okay. But it's like, I have one Marconi pepper coming up on my pepper plants. The Marconi pepper plants are maybe 14 inches high, tops. They shouldn't be producing yet. There's one pepper on there that's already about 4 inches long, on one right by the coil. None of the other ones. My banana peppers are producing peppers near the coil, not so much anywhere else. Okay. The tomatoes are producing flowers. Even those two short tomatoes, those have flowers on it, where some of the other ones that are bigger plants don't. That I have noticed. And for those of you guys that said that I did them wrong, I double checked. Those coils are wound clockwise. So yes, I made them correct. So no, I'm not reverse polarity on there. Charles, thank you for another super chat. I found a jar of tomatoes I canned in 2016. It tasted the same as the jars I canned last fall. It was good. Yeah, I mean, Rudy's pulled out cans of ground beef that he canned 10 years ago and it was fine. So, but my point was that I was saying this, they'll say you can't can some things. Just no. I've mentioned a million times, go watch Lisa on Sutton's Days. Okay. She'll show you how to can anything. And, you know, sure, there's certain things that we all know is never going to can. You're not going to can milk or something like that. Or most dairy products. I understand ghee, yes, you can there, but you're not going to can something with sour cream in it. That's not going to work. It will spoil. But as for canning squash, I've done it. As for canning rice, I've done it. Works fine, no problem. Faye Cape, whoops. I gotta get back. I just shipped down to the bottom. Faye, it looked like you said something. What can I put on tomatoes to keep the deer from coming in? If I saw your question right, go to why do I always forget Billy Permapastures Farm, and that website on YouTube. Look at any one of Billy's videos and go down in the description and look for Billy's bone sauce. That is something that is tried and true. It works for me. It works for other people. Put that out around, you put it on your tomato trellis or whatever your tomato cage is. Just spread a little bit on there, and the smell keeps the deer away. That's going to be the best thing for you. Steve Adams, thank you for the super chat, and you are most welcome. So appreciate that very much. Tammy Lee, did I get a new puppy? No, I did not. We still have the geriatric ward of dogs here in the house. So no puppies. Copper would not have anything to do with another dog in this house at this point. That's why Mrs. P won't get another puppy, because Copper's already killed 2 cats. So we know he's not going to have anything to do. He does not like other animals. S. Withers, will a tomato plant grow and produce fruit if the top of the plant gets broken off? Absolutely. There actually is a time where you do want to prune the top of a plant. I mean, once it gets high enough, which is basically about as tall as you are, trim that top, cut that top growth. Why? Because you don't want the tomato plant to get any taller, because then you're not going to be able to reach the tomatoes. Okay. But when you break off the top of the tomato, it forces all the growth to so the plant will get bushier. Okay. So yeah, no problem whatsoever if the top is broke off. I mean, if the plant's this big and the top broke off, yeah, plant a new plant. Okay. But if you're at this point of the year, most of us are going to have plants that are probably 3-4 feet high. That's fine. It's just going to get bushier. 10 for man. What do I think of these massive solar fields that are being put in from farmers selling out? I think it's about as idiotic as it comes. Okay, I explained this in a video. Oh my God, about 9 months ago. I did the math on this, and in order for us to power, I believe it was, if I remember correctly, it was just to generate enough power that if all the cars in the world, in the United States, were EVs, just to power the cars, you had to cover the entire state of Nevada and the entire state of Utah in solar panels, just if every car in the country was an EV. Now imagine all the electricity that's used in your house and businesses, whatever. I mean, here's a fact for you why I think this is absolutely stupid. If you took every single battery in the world and fully charged it, every single battery, okay? I don't care if it's this big, if it's a battery that's in this, if it's some monster lithium battery or whatever it would be. Took every single one of them and charged them. We have enough power to run the world at current electric use for 75 seconds. Yeah. That's great. You can put all these massive solar fields in there. We don't have the battery capacity to make it worth a damn. So it's useless. And the fact that you got farmers selling out, hey, cool. You know what? The world has electricity. We just have no people because everybody's starved. I mean, this is John Kerry, the ultimate idiot. We need to stop farming because it creates too much carbon dioxide. It also creates food, dumbass. Okay. And, may I remind you what ketchup is made from? That thing that the reason you have all the money you do, not that you earned it, you got it from your wife's family. Tomatoes are what make ketchup. The Heinz family, your wife's family. Okay. You know, tomatoes are grown by farmers, John. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely stupid. Farmers that are selling out for these solar fields, they're traitors. Okay. Let's see. Pinball, make a window decal. Larif Larson, Pinball, Garden Like a Viking wants to do a collaboration with you regarding electroculture. That would be sweet. We'll see. Nate can call me. I mean, that's fine. He's got my number. He's got my email, everything. I haven't heard anything from him. So, I mean, I'd love to talk to him again. No big deal. But, all he's got to do is get a hold of me. SR71, what is my recommendation for the best places to purchase quality heirloom seeds? Somewhere that's local, okay, or relatively local, and you're at least in your climate, as I've mentioned many times to people. If you live in the South, I'd recommend Haas Tools. If you live up in the upper Midwest or the Northeast, I'd say look at M.I. Gardner. If you live in the Plains states or whatever, probably looking at Baker Creek. The reason being is because they're growing the plant, which creates the seeds, in a southern climate or a northern climate or in a Midwestern climate. If you live in upstate Minnesota and you're buying seeds from a company that is growing them in Georgia, do you honestly expect them to really work? Okay. They are completely the wrong climate. Those seeds aren't what's the word I'm looking for? Adapted to your climate. So they're not going to work. It's why you'll always have better luck growing something with seed you've saved, provided you did it right, than with seed you buy at the store, because the seed you save has at least a year's worth of time to acclimate to the climate it's in, and it will change. It'll be like, you know what? This soil isn't quite as good as I'm used to, so it'll figure out how to, be a little better next year, reduce the pest pressure, or if it's drier conditions or wetter conditions. Again, you're talking about a living thing. It will acclimate. So, always find seeds from some company that is relatively local. Debs, Pinball, do you and Mrs. P pickle green beans? No, we do not. Just regular, can them up, a little bit of salt, heat them up, a little bit of butter over the top. That's it. Let's see, moving on. Paul Nelson, do I think Trump will agree to quit politics to get all charges dropped and finally be left alone? Hell no, I don't. Okay. If anybody hasn't figured out right now, Trump loves a fight. Okay. And he's not going to cave to this. I would be absolutely dumbfounded. He would completely destroy his reputation if he caved on this, because he didn't do anything wrong. They manufactured crimes that he committed because he didn't commit any crimes. So they just made new laws and then retroactively applied them to him. I mean, again, remember what I said this morning. The violations that he made would have been a civil case between the National Archives and him, until this prosecutor decided to get new laws made that misinterpret stuff. I mean, it's like Joe Biden saying, I can use the 14th Amendment to raise the debt ceiling. No, you can't. Okay. And they did the same thing. They are reading into a law that's written so far over the top. It's unbelievable. I mean, I will be surprised, honestly, if Trump's case ever sees a jury, ever. Okay. It'll probably all get thrown out before there even opening arguments are made. The whole point of this is exactly what you said. They are trying to do everything they can to force Trump out of politics. They'll put something on the table. If you drop out, we'll drop the charges. Okay, that tells you everything you need to know about a prosecutor. Prosecutor makes Trump that offer right there, and he goes, okay, is this case politicized? You just proved it. Okay, It's like I said this morning on the video with the liberals bitching about the judge because, oh, she's going to be supportive of Trump. Oh, so what you're telling me is you're admitting that there's, what's the word I'm looking for here? Opinion being used by justices, not just the rule of law, or judges, not just the rule of law, huh? Okay, because that's the way you do things, right? That's what you believe in. No, we believe in the same rule of law for everybody, not separate ones. And you think there's a different set of laws because there's a Republican judge versus a liberal judge. If he would have had a liberal judge, he'd have been found guilty. Really, you haven't heard any of the facts, but who the judge is, that's the way a liberal thinks, okay? Like I said, I don't think Trump will drop out of this at all. The whole point of this is that's what they're trying to get him to do because they know they can't beat him. They want to tie him up throughout the whole campaign season so he can't go out and get tens of thousands of people for rallies while Joe has 6 people show up or does a Zoom call with 11 people from his basement, that Joe's rally is going to be. I mean, remember last year or last election, Joe didn't campaign at all. And when he did do a campaign stop, they had chairs put 6 feet apart. 10 chairs were in a room, and 4 of them were empty. Okay. Nobody wanted to hear from Joe Biden. Nobody. That's what they want Trump to drop out because they know he'll win. That's all that is. And Trump will never do it, I don't think. Definitely P. How do I preserve our onions? Little ones I pickle. I like pickled onions. Okay, I like pickled pretty much everything. But we will take all our onions. A lot of them are, some of them are already ready to harvest. We're already picking some of them. I probably got about a dozen onions sitting over on the table over there, drying out. But then I will use them to make my chili. Mrs. P will use them to make galupsi, which is stuffed cabbage, which eventually we will show you a video on that one. But again, we are meal canners, not ingredient canners. So I'm going to make soup, whatever it goes in. I make everything. So like we had borscht for dinner tonight. Okay, wasn't Mrs. P sitting in the kitchen for an hour chopping up vegetables. It was Mrs. Key opening up 2 mason jars full of soup, pouring it in a pot, heating it up, and there was dinner. So that's how we do it. So I know people do it the other way, totally cool, but we just make it into meals. So that's how everything gets canned together. No sheeple, your pinball, your thoughts on Canadian Fire, done by design to move population to cities. Is it DEW weapons? Maybe is it new weapons? I'm sorry, I don't believe whatsoever that this is happenstance, that 400 and some odd fires all started the same day. No, this was either a controlled burn that got way out of hand, okay, which tells you everything you need to know about Trudeau and him handling anything up there, or this is exactly what you're saying. This was not Mother Nature starting. But there were lightning strikes and everything. Okay, sure, maybe a couple of fires got started by lightning, and then they're going to put a fire break in there, and they're going to start a whole bunch more fires to make a fire break. Oops. Well, we put them in the wrong spot, and we set the rest of the forest on fire. Yeah, dumbass. It's this. Add this to the long list of liberal failures. Again, I've said the same thing. Joe doesn't have a single success in his presidency. Please tell me what success Justin Trudeau has in his. None. Okay. There is no success and liberalism are polar opposites. There's nothing that they have ever done in the history of the world that has been successful, and there never will be. I mean, liberalism by definition means stupid choices. GC, Northern Maine here just planted tomatoes after 6 days of rain. You're making about 95% of the people here jealous because we're all begging for rain. Alice McCain, do I think urine is good for plants? I only do only potted plants. I have done many videos showing you ways to make fertilizer with urine, and how good it is for plants. As long as you are not on any sort of narcotic medications or anything like that. I mean, again, I've told you I'm on blood pressure meds, and I use my urine. You dilute it 10-1. It's a great source of nitrogen. Okay, uh, and I mean it's free, and you can always get more. Okay, but yeah, urine. If you got a plant that needs green growth, urine is going to be there. If you're looking for a plant to flower more or whatever it is, that's not what urine's for. That's when you get into your potassium and your phosphorus. Okay. But if you're trying to get the green growth, right now a lot of plants still adding nitrogen to them. Okay. Once they start fruiting, then you want to stop the nitrogen and you want to get the potassium and the phosphorus on them. Mars Sense, can you pickle bell peppers? Absolutely. You can pickle anything you want. Bell peppers work fine. They're going to taste like pickled peppers. So, Love nature. Do you think our country will become a one-party system? If we're not practically there already, right? Yeah, one-party system is called communism. So, yeah, that's authoritarianism, totalitarianism, whatever it would be. I mean, we're practically there. And as I've said many times, the only reason we are not totally there is because of the Second Amendment. Because everybody knows that, everybody who wants to be the uber god of the United States knows if they ever try something like that, there's 100 million people in this country who are going to say, hell no, and we're coming out guns a-blazing. And that's why, you got to understand, guys, the reason that they want to take guns off the street, all this gun control bullshit, it has nothing, absolutely zero, to do with, oh my God, another shooting in Chicago. There's shootings in Chicago every day. It never makes the news. They don't care. They don't care about the people getting killed. Okay? They want the guns off the street because then we can't fight back. Think of Nazi Germany. Why did Hitler take guns off the street? So the Jews couldn't fight back against the Nazis. What happened? They eliminated the Jews. We go to a one-party system. We don't have any way to fight back. Think what happens. The Communist Party, the Democrats, will just go through and go, every Republican is just getting put in a gas chamber. That's exactly the plan. Okay? That's what people don't get. It has nothing to do with shootings on the south side of Chicago. It has everything to do with their control. Trina Gover, I believe. Gover? I'm going to guess Gover. Thank you for the super chat. Excellent question here. Pinball, have I ever used kale and clay or heard of where to use it? Yes, I have. Okay. Kale and clay, guys, is a organic, natural thing. To give you what it's used for, besides gardening, it's also used in makeup. The foundation women put on, it's kale and clay. Okay. What kale and clay is absolutely wonderful for is you mix it in a sprayer, a tank sprayer, and you spray your fruit trees with it. Okay. It'll put like a white haze over your fruit trees. But what it does is it keeps the pests off, because it's almost like it's very thin to us. You're not going to really notice it. But to a teeny tiny little insect, it's kind of gummy. And so what it does is it gets in their antenna, it gets in their breathing apparatus and stuff like that, and it completely messes them up. So the bugs stay away. Kale and clay is absolutely wonderful to keep any of the insect pests off of your fruit trees. That's what you use it. Yes, I have it, and yes, I use it. It's not necessarily cheap. It's $100. I think I had paid like $100 for like 4 pounds of it, but you're only using like a tablespoon in a gallon of water or whatever it is. The downside is you've got to spray it after every decent rain. So you will use a decent amount, but you want to keep bugs off your trees, spray it with kale and clay. Absolutely good thing to have. Fat Daddy's Outdoor Cooking. What recipe do I have for the brine on pepperoncinis? Go to the playlist and look in there. I did a video on making pickled peppers. So you'll be the recipe is. I might have put it in the description, but it's certainly in the video. Morning Light, what kind of winter squash have I had the best luck with? I have not grown winter squash here in Tennessee yet. I know Mountaintop Preps grew butternut squash last year, and they had absolute fabulous results with butternut squash. The thing I will tell you is this, and again, it goes back to the question on seeds. You got to grow what grows well in your area. What grows in Tennessee is not necessarily what's going to grow in Missouri. Is certainly not going to be what's going to grow in Montana. Okay, you got to find out what's good to grow in your area, and that's what you grow. You know, I've said before, don't try growing oranges if you're in Maine, you know, and don't try growing cherries if you're in South Texas. It's just not going to work. Angel Dupree, can I say my name? Can I say my name is Russian? No, my name is not Russian. So, can I say my name in Russian? No, I'm not going to say my name on the channel. Never have, never will. Canning Man, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Yes, he did. And so did Pinball. I think I titled a video of that. Pinball picked a peck of pickled peppers. Jeff Savage, Texas ready for seeds come in an ammo can. Good people. There you go. Bonus, you get all the seeds and an ammo can. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is something I forgot to talk about. Trudy Sorrow. What do I think of the UFO whistleblower? He seems a little slick. Okay, and I'll get to this in a second, notwithstanding the stuff that happened in Vegas yesterday. Okay. I'm not a believer whatsoever that we've had alien spacecraft and aliens that we've been studying since the 1950s in Area 51 or in Roswell or something like that. I'm not a believer in that. Okay. There's no way in the world that an alien spacecraft landed in the United States, and the only people that managed to see it were the military, right? You know, because what? They just landed on a military base on purpose because, gee, that's the place I want to go. Okay. Now, notwithstanding that, we had the great story and the video of the cops today with the people in Vegas about this 8 to 10 foot non-human being in this green light over the sky and everything like that. Okay, well, the green light was seen over California, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, or whatever. I think it's like 4 states or 5 states. Okay, so that's not some guy flying a drone. It's not Greg Brady out there with a flashlight and a kazoo. So do I have an answer for it? Of course not. Okay. Do I believe that there is life out there somewhere in the universe besides us? Yeah, I'm not that naive to think that we're the only living beings out there somewhere. Okay? Are there more intelligent beings than us? Well, considering who's in the White House, I sure as hell hope so. But, you know, I'm still one of those people. I'll believe it when I see it. You show me this alien spacecraft. You show me this alien, maybe I'll believe you, okay? But who's to say, I mean, you know, oh, it's an 8 to 10 foot non-human thing. Okay, well, let's see. If I put on some sort of goofy suit and put a bubble head with big eyes on top of my head, okay, and I look like, you know, I'm some sort, you know, think like the movie Predator or something. Think about what Hollywood makeup can do, right? Sure. I'm almost 7 feet tall. Let me put something that's only a foot high on my head. It's 8 foot tall. Make it have big eyes and big teeth. Yeah, I'd probably pull that off. So I'll believe it when I see it. Debbie Avone, UPS may go on strike. It's another one. I'll believe it when I see it. Winona Halen, can you grow plants in colored cardboard? Sure. I mean, a cardboard box that's yellow, yeah, I mean, it's not going to make any look of difference. You know, I don't see why there'd be any problem with it. Uh, Sinbab, how do I use up all my cabbage? I put in 40 heads. Okay, well, I'll give you this. Those 9 heads of cabbage that we harvested last week, Mrs. P turned those into kimchi. And each head of cabbage, by the time it was all said and done, made maybe a quart and a half of kimchi. We got 2 quarts left. Okay, so we eat it. Uh, but I mean, around here, how do we do it? Make borscht, make cabbage rolls. You know, eat some fresh, obviously. Uh, make sauerkraut. I mean, there's many ways that you can preserve cabbage. Cabbage is a very good canning vegetable. You can can many different ways. Make pork and cabbage. I mean, you cut up a piece of pork into little cubes, mix it with some cabbage, put some caraway seeds in there, a little bit of water, throw it in the canner, 90 minutes for a quart, poof, done. You've got pork and cabbage. When it comes out, put a dollop of sour cream on it, you got dinner. So, simple one. Alice McCain, 3rd year growing, and my plants are ugly. Why? Okay. Ugly is not a technical term that I can really answer, so I don't know. I don't know what kind of plants we're talking and what the issues are. I mean, do they lack of fertilization? Is it lack of water? Do they have blight? Do they have bug issues? Is the soil crap? I mean, there's way too many variables in your question. Joseph Cook, just harvest a load of hard-neck garlic. Have you ever pickled garlic? I have not. The lovely lady who I am married to pickled about 2/3 of our harvest last year and ate it in about 2 weeks. She loves pickled garlic. And she tried 3 different recipes for pickling garlic. There's recipes all over the internet. So there's many of them. But she tried fermenting it. She tried pickling it, everything like that. Yes, we've pickled many a clove of garlic around here. Okay, we're getting close. How to get rid of slugs? Use bear traps. If you take a cottage cheese, sour cream, yogurt, whatever it is, tub, cut it so it's maybe about 1.5 inches around, so you're keeping the bottom, but you don't want something that's this tall. Okay, make it about 1.5 inches high. Dig a little hole in your garden, put the yogurt cup in the hole so it's flush level with the top of the garden. Pour some beer in there, stale beer, old beer, whatever it is, works fine. That attracts all the slugs. They go in there, they drown. Okay, so yeah, beer traps are the best thing for slugs. Trough farmer, what are some fun things to do in Tennessee? Well, let's see. I went fishing this week. You can hiking through the woods, through the mountains, sightseeing, absolutely. Sitting on the porch with a glass of tea, talking to your neighbors, just like anywhere else. I mean, beautiful country here. I mean, if you like being outdoors, there's not a whole lot of places that are going to beat Tennessee for beauty. So, Tringo, what brand security cameras do I use? In the interest of my security, I'm not going to mention that. So let's just put it this way: they're wireless solar security cameras are wireless cameras. That's best I'm going to put there. So, yeah, for the simple reason, there's people in this area that I know watch me. I'm not going to show. I'm not going to show you where I put my security cameras. I'm not going to tell you what kind they are, for the simple reason that somebody goes, hey, now I know what his security is, and so we can figure out how to break it. So, yeah. OPSEC, no. Sorry. Eddie Morgan, what is my solution for powdery mildew? A lot of times powdery mildew means time to rip up the plant. So that's pretty much my solution for powdery mildew. Uh, Mad Dog, what is a good security camera that you don't have to pay a fee to use? Again, same thing I'll tell you right there. Go find anything that is, uh, some sort of wireless camera. You don't have to pay a fee. There's Go on Amazon, put security cameras in, and you will see pages and pages and pages of security cameras. Don't waste your money on ADT or Ring or something like that. That's, you know, again, when seconds count, the police will be there in minutes. So, uh, yeah, security cameras for your security, ADT and stuff like that, in my opinion, total waste of money. Uh, Ginny F, can you freeze peppers and defrost when ready to can in bulk? Yeah, at that point, I don't see why not, because when a pepper comes out of the freezer, it's not going to be that crispy pepper anymore. But when you can it, it's not going to be that crispy pepper anymore. So yeah, you might as well, if you want to freeze it so you can do it that way, go for it. Uh, do 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 do. Trina already answered that question. Alan Chappelle, did I ever get my seed boxes back? Nope, none of them. So, that's why I'm not going to do it again. That's why I didn't do it last year, because somebody said, hey, cool, look, somebody sent me a bunch of free seeds. I'm just going to steal them all. So, yeah, no, I won't be doing that again. It's funny because I did that with other things in the past, and people were honest about it, and they eventually all the way made it back to me. Here it was, figure prepper channel, people do it. No, we had people that sat on a box for a month, and then eventually we had somebody who says, you know what, I'm just going to keep it all myself. I wish I could know who it was, because I would out them all over everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it would be, and say, do not associate with this person whatsoever. They're a thief. So if that person's watching it, go to hell. Robert Voorhees, what's my take on a radio for comms? You need to have all sorts of radios. You need to have walkie-talkies. You need to have CB. You need to have ham radio. You need to have two ways, because every one of them is going to have a different purpose. Okay? If you need somewhat secure communication, you need two-way. If you need to hear what's going on in a local area, you're going to need to have CB. If you need to hear what's going on potentially nationally, or connect with somebody that's, hundreds of miles away, you're going to need ham, whatever. You're going to need multiple ways of communication. Walkie-talkies. Hey, you've got somebody walking around the perimeter of your yard. Walkie-talkie may be good. A two-way may be good. Walkie-talkie, depending on if you got a good one, can pick up a CB channel. I've got CB walkie-talkies that I keep in my truck. I've got the base station at home. If I'm out on the road and Mrs. P can't get me on the cell phone, she can get me on the CB. So, yeah, there's different ways. You're going to need all sorts of different radios. Who's your daddy? Pinball. Kyle Hendricks taking a no-hitter into the eighth for the Cubs against the Giants. I haven't watched a baseball game. I mean, even when the Cubs won the World Series, I didn't watch a single game of the World Series. I probably haven't watched a baseball game in any baseball game, probably in at least 15 years. Okay. I haven't watched a football game since the whole kneeling thing started. I think I've watched maybe one hockey game since I moved to Tennessee. I mean, I just don't pay attention to sports anymore. I mean, and I used to be an avid sports fan. Okay. They just pissed me off too much with all this kneeling shit and pride nights and we hate America and everything like that. What LeBron and pro China this and the United States is terrible. Move your ass over there. Just get out of my country. There's not a whole lot in sports that I can support anymore. 9:59, one more. There you go. Clarity Jane, I canned hot dogs. Yeah, that's something great to can. Prep Rebel, I deep fry my zucchini and then can that. Not everyone's cup of tea. I love fried zucchini. I've never canned it after doing it, but great. I'm growing strawberries indoors. When do I hand pollinate? When it first flowers yellow? Yeah, when you get the flowers, that's when you got to know the difference between your male flowers and your female flowers. Take the male flower, you can just cut it off, rub the uh, pistil around the stamen, and you're all set. Uh, Barbara Kramer, I would use that kind of iron for ironing on patches to repair clothes if you have patches for your group. Okay. If you got iron on patches, that would be a good idea. But I figure a lot of them are going to be sew on, but yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't think about it. Gotcha. Uh, Pinball, the patch factory patches start at 49 cents. I have mine made, but mine are detailed with Velcro, standard ones. I checked out a bunch of people. They were probably one of them. There were some of them that the quality was crap. I wanted good military quality patches. So I mean, I paid a little extra for the quality. All right. Katie Kelly, how do I stop siphoning in my jars? I don't understand what the question is. There have to be more specific. Sorry. A lot of you said kingfisher. That's what we thought it was too, but I don't know. It seemed a little small to be a kingfisher. All right, guys, it is 10 o'clock. Thank you much. Everybody be here. We will see you in the morning. Pinball out.